So maybe Manchester United can get a bit of joy here. Eriksen standing over it. Bruno Fernandes attacking, but Ben Mee standing firm, and he was fouled by the Portuguese. Well, you might have seen today's fourth official, Anthony Taylor, pop up when we were talking about tomorrow's match at Stamford Bridge. He will be the man in the middle for that one. A little early in the season for another battle of the bridge, but I'm sure it'll be feisty.
No, that's...
Ronaldo, Rashford, the runner, takes it beyond me. And Rashford for Eriksen. Thou shalt not pass, said David Raya. It was more routine, I think, than he made it look.
Yeah, he just couldn't get the power in it, Christian Eriksen. He does well, Marcus Rashford. You think there's potentially going to be a penalty, but he just doesn't commit himself. The cross is good. It's just... You're thinking that was Ronaldo. Maybe he could get the power into it, but not Eriksen.
And Pontus Jansson needs a little bit of treatment, so Stuart Atwell deciding that this will be a good time to have the second half drinks break. Evening drawing on in West London, but it's still brutally hot for the players down pitch side. Well, if you have just joined us, do not adjust your sets. That is the score. All the 4 goals for Brentford coming in the first 34 minutes. And this lap scary from David De Gea very much setting the tone.
Yeah. Obviously, Manchester United have got absolutely no confidence whatsoever. First goal was going to be important. They lost it through that De Gea mistake, and then, say, Brentford mauled them, pressurising them high, out-jumping them, out-fighting them on set pieces. And the last goal was special. Really was. The pass from Tony is brilliant. And then Bomo, that first touch is brilliant across his body. Wonderful. And captured that first half perfectly for Brentford. The game plan, we can see some of it there on that tactics board from Thomas Frank. He's not taking any chances. Still 25 minutes to go.
And they've still got substitutions in the bank as well. Just the one change made. He's got 2 windows to make a subsequent 4. He used his changes very well last week. David De Gea electing not to come over to this near side. It's not a bad spot for an evening cocktail, is it?
No. But look happier than I am. Can I go and join them? I'm just contemplating, I've got Monday Night Football. With that balloon.
I think you've got a long few days ahead of you, Gary. A long week ahead of you with Monday Night Football, of course, coming up next week. Manchester United against Liverpool.
And the only decent thing about United at the moment is those fans. And they've had enough. They've had enough.
That's what lies ahead for Manchester United. Obviously, we touched on the immediate concern, which is Liverpool's visit. Southampton away before the window closes on September the 1st. Some serious business needs to be done.
But you imagine any call you get from Manchester United this week, you're just going to add a note.
Yeah.
And if you're a player, as I said before, you're looking at this and thinking, what am I going into?
Well, again, it's the risk of going back to last season to look at the pattern, but it's 4 points from the last 24 that Manchester United have taken. I know that effectively they downed tools at the end of last season under Ralph Rangnick, but they haven't picked them up at the start of this under the new manager.
No, look, if you want to look for telltale signs of a team that lacks personality and character, it's away performances, it's how you do on set pieces, how you fare on set pieces, it's your running stats. Manchester United are miserable in all those areas.
Closing in on their 7th successive away defeat. If you're using that as a barometer of character, it speaks volumes. Another optimistic looks at the referee from Anthony Elanga.
Manchester United have known for 8 to 10 months they needed to rebuild the squad for the summer. I think Ralph Rangnick said it was open heart surgery, he described it as. And to not get the players in early, the quality of the players, the number of players that Erik ten Hag needed to be able to start the season with is baffling and difficult to forgive.
And look at the business that others are doing as well. Okay, the lack of Champions League football doesn't make it easy to lure some players.
But it's not a stalled market.
No.
The rest of them have performed all the way through the league. Teams have got their business done. There might be the odd one.
Might come to Elanga, bounced off his shins, and Jensen can clear. One example being Brentford, who've gone to Italian football and got Mikkel Damsgaard, who's had an injury-hit season last year after his heroics in the Euros. If you aren't familiar, there he is. He's the player who scored that terrific free kick for Denmark against England in the semi-finals of the European Championships. Still only 22. About 17 million they paid for him.
Every club seems to have a plan, and Manchester United this summer seems to have been whatever targets they were looking for through their own recruitment department. Let's just look at the Dutch league or players that have worked under Erik ten Hag. That is not a strategy. You can't do that. That was 15 years ago. You've got to have your own independent recruitment strategy where you've got players identified, the work's been done with the agents, you know who's coming in, and yes, of course you always try and please a manager and you make sure that if he has got a really good player that he's got good contact with, but the one that he does have good contact with, they can't get in. Frankie de Jong. And
Sorry, I was just going to tell you about the substitutes, which you see there. 2 of the goal scorers withdrawn, Jensen and Mbomo, and Johan Wissa and Shandon Baptiste, who you see there, both coming on. Fresh legs to bring fresh threat. Johan Wissa, the Congolese international, 2nd top scorer for Brentford last season. And when they play a back 4, he's pretty much a regular on the team sheet in the front 3. That may be under threat with the arrival of Damsgaard. Rashford working well, finding Ronaldo. Rashford eased away by Roerslev. This is Malacia for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, Gallo there, but that was well watched and well dealt with by Rico Henry. Norgard patrolling the near post, and Wissa up against Elanga, coming off second best. Did well there, Anthony Elanga.
Yeah, he did. It was a good tussle between the two of them.
Well, there's a chasm between the
Brenford tuh approximately total 55 miliar. MU 44.
Reverse alchemy. Well, I'm sure it'll be looked at, Gary, the similarities between the clubs that Manchester United have struggled against at the start of their season. Brighton and Brentford, similar in the way they're run, similar in the way they recruit and sell on. Just look at the number of players that they have been able to move on. Brighton, Cucurella, for
What is his place of? Where I never see before one.
example, brought in 15, selling 60, and still they go and win at Manchester United. Basuma likewise.
It honestly doesn't take much, and we've been saying this for 12 months, going back to the start of last season. It doesn't take much to dismantle this Manchester United team. You just need a little bit of organisation, a bit of fight, and you're there. Simple as that. Because they fall apart and crumble quite quickly. Now, Manchester United sometimes can score a goal and they can get in front and then the confidence builds. But if you just rough them up a little bit, if you get a goal in front against them...
Halo Bang, halo. Chandri Pratama. Menit 80 sekarang.
Rashford, fouled by Baptiste. And that'll provide a break, which might allow Brentford to make another couple of changes. There's a bit of briefing going on down there. Mads Sorensen is one of those going to come on, wearing number 29. And it looks like Frank Onyeka is going to be the other one, the Nigerian international midfielder. McTominay.
Lebih 78.
Well, Thomas Frank used all 5 substitutes available to him last weekend. He's going to do the same here. His final substitution window. And see the withdrawal. Aaron Hickey, I should say, who will come on. Or Mads Sorensen will come on instead of him. By injury. Will come on and replace last season's player of the year here, Christian Norgard.
Still Norgard.
That's one thing he brings Mads Sorensen a long throw. It's not a bad effort at all. Rico Henry catching it very nicely.
Brilliant from Rico Henry. I loved equally the sprint back into position. It was a fantastic strike.
Fantastic drive.
Varane. Here's McTominay.
Malaysia.
Ericsson.
Ay, siya.
Well, he
Striker
figured
naman,
out his
Ericsson.
consolation. But instead he hooks it wide.
Well, there is no doubt Manchester United have created a couple of moments in this second half. A couple for Ronaldo with his head, a couple for Ericsson now, one with his head and then that volley. I think just because of his technical ability, you fancy him, Christian Eriksen, to put that away.
Well, it's the sort of day that most managers will use most of the substitutions available to them, and we're going to see the changes completed here. Donny van de Beek coming on for Manchester United.
Yeah, I think a lot of people said that obviously Erik ten Hag's knowledge of van de Beek, that we start to see the best of him.
McTominay caught in possession. Couldn't quite get it through to Tony. There's going to be a yellow card that comes out for that challenge on Onyeka by McTominay.
Yeah, it was similar to those moments in the first half at Manchester United. And got themselves in trouble. It's McTominay's touch. Gets caught, doesn't know where he is. Lack of awareness of what's behind him.
Well, as I mentioned before, he had the run-in last season completely dominated by injury, Frank Onyeka, just as he was threatening to get a regular run in the side, ankle ligaments. Just a couple of substitute appearances at the end of last season, since February. So it would be bad luck indeed if he had picked up another bad issue here. There's certainly an element of concern around the Brentford medical staff as they look across for a diagnosis. Onyeka limps off. I think he'll be able to come back on again. Brentford have made all their changes, so they'll hope he can come on in some capacity for the remaining 6 minutes or so. Another Brentford corner. Well, they put in a huge shift, Brentford, on a very hot day. You can understand if they're taking their time. They've earned the right, and then some.
Menit 84, 6 menit lagi. 6 menit lagi, guys. Shoot!
Away by Ronaldo. Again, Brentford hunger prevailing as they seek a fifth. De Gea there to block behind. Vitaly Janelt smiles as Manchester United creak once more.
Yeah, he didn't cover himself in glory, Cristiano Ronaldo there. His header was poor and then he turns his back here, I think. He does. Blocked by Maguire in the end.
De Gea makes the save, Maguire clears.
Angkat.
That more routine for David De Gea.
Yeah, just those set pieces. I mean, United have dealt with them better in this second half. There's no doubt about that. But still, Brentford posed problems.
Elanga umpan, bos.
Elanga. Ronaldo. Shot comfortably fielded by David Raya. He wants the free kick, but advantage was played and not taken by Cristiano Ronaldo. That's why he's not getting it.
Wow.
Baptiste pursuing Ericsson, who finds Dalot. Anthony Elanga for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes back to the Swede. Gets it over Ben Mee. Bruno Fernandes away by Janssen.
Kanan. Bruno.
Dalot.
Dalot.
Dalot trying to slip it through to his compatriot Cristiano Ronaldo, but Brentford comfortably coping. Well, here comes that change. On comes Donny van de Beek.
Ganti siapa guys? Van de Beek masuk. Fernandes ya.
And off goes Christian Eriksen, much to the enjoyment of the Brentford fans. You can tell they feel a little spurned by the fact that he decided to head to Old Trafford rather than stay here, given their reaction today.
Malaysia. McTominay. Dalot. Ronaldo.
Elanga. Dalot.
Maguire. Masih Dalot nih. Mampus.
Oh, that has gifted Baptiste the chance to carry forward. Rashford will give away a free kick, take the yellow card, but he might feel it's worth it, given how ruthless Brentford have been on the counter-attacks today.
Marcus. Guys, 2 menit lagi nih.
Baptiste. Lissa. Away from Rashford. Two balls on the pitch, so De Gea will come and have to field that. Well, if we talk about this from a purely Brentford perspective, Gary, because there's going to be a lot of talk about Manchester United after this one. They set the bar pretty high with what they achieved last season. What they've done here today has been nothing short of spectacular.
Absolutely brilliant, I have to say. A wonderful performance, a great game plan, a team that are committed. Love watching them every time I come here, and when you think about how you pick a man of the match out of all of them just being absolutely outstanding, but that fourth goal was the big moment in the game where it became dreamland for Brentford in that first half, and then
Bantai ya bang,
scored it, and I'm going to give him the man of the match.
4 nih, tambahan waktu 4 menit. Jauhin siapa bang? Gimana Erik ten Hag ini nggak ada belum kelihatan atau belum, gua nggak pernah lihat. Wah,
Ronaldo
umpan
might
bos.
manoeuvre into a shooting position.
Lawak McTominay, sumpah.
Henry has to check his run to get onto that.
Yuk 9-1. Lanjut lagi guys.
I think Thomas Frank will be really happy with his second half as well. Being professional, seeing it through, not conceding a goal. United couldn't be any worse than the first half.
Dia opok-opok with Brenford.
But they managed it.
Aduh. Jelang MU klub badut. Anjay, enak banget.
And Tony giving Reso something to
Brenford
chase.
kalau umpan-umpanan enak banget tuh. Kayak latihan loh. Ini 92.
Although those couple of headers from Cristiano Ronaldo, weren't they, that certainly he felt he could have done better with, judging by his reaction. That Eriksen chance, but Brentford's clean sheet, not under too much threat for the most part, ever since they scored the fourth on the 34th minute.
Guys.
Bruno Fernandes picking up a yellow card.
Gak jelas ya apa sih?
I'm just thinking they've got to wait 9 days for the next game. I mean, I see that as a positive personally. I think when you've had a nightmare like this, I think you're just better off getting back out there again Tuesday, Wednesday, but it's not going to happen. And the build-up to that Liverpool game, well,
McTominay can't afford to get involved in any shenanigans given that he's been booked. Ronaldo loses out to Shandon Baptiste. McTominay does give away a free kick. Stuart Atwell has a look at him saying, don't make me send you off.
well, he's been booked already, hasn't he, McTominay?
It's a quite extraordinary afternoon in West London. And what a contrast between the two managers. A despondent Dutchman who won't quite believe what he's seen his side produce here. And an absolutely delirious day, whose side had produced something right from the top draw to send Manchester United packing and get their first ever Premier League win against the side from Old Trafford. They blew them away. It's as simple as that. 4 goals in 34 minutes. The first time anyone has ever done that to Manchester United in the Premier League era. Heaping more unwelcome history on this side from Manchester, who are having a desperate time. It's 7 successive away league defeats for the club for the first time in nearly 90 years. Back-to-back defeats to start the season, the first time that's happened since the very first Premier League campaign kicked off almost exactly 30 years ago. Long faces in the Manchester United camp, but Brentford can be proud. Some proud, their best ever Premier League win and arguably their best ever Premier League moment. Manchester United weren't at it, but Brentford took full advantage and Gary well deserved winners.
Absolutely, a stunning early evening night for Brentford. I've seen some great nights here in the last 12 months, but this is as good as it gets. And for Manchester United, well, if you thought it couldn't get any lower, it just has.
Well, Eric Ten Hag, the first Manchester United manager since John Chapman in the 1920s to lose their first 2 games for the club. United were relegated at the end of last season when they've had relegation form at the start of this. A page 1 rewrite for Manchester United required, and time in this transfer window running out to do it. That's for later, and that'll be talked about by Kelly and her guests. But for now, this is about Brenford making Premier League memories here in the Grand Manor. Thomas Frank with a game plan that he has executed spectacularly. Last weekend to salvage a point at the King Power Stadium. They put on a royal performance.
مباراة الحب الكبير والحب الجديد طبعا الكبير جدا في ذاكرة إيطاليا إنه بيرلسكوني. هذه جميلة، هذه خطيرة، لكن تبعد بعد ذلك وتعود، ودقائق 3 الآن من أصل 6 دقائق محتسبة كوقت بدل ضايع، وهذا يعني جميلة الفكرة، حلوة من صاحب القميص رقم 4 ساندي لوفريتش السلوفيني. لوفريتش السلوفيني لاعب القادم من لوغانو، اللاعب اللي كان في شتورم جرادز أيضا في النمسا، بينما هذا هو كاكا. قدم اليسرى تقول لنا أننا أمام لاعب منتظر أن يكون اكتشافا جديدا في كرة القدم الإيطالية. 35 مليون يورو لشاب عمره 21 سنة. أعتقد بل أجزم أنه بعد عامين، بعد 3 أعوام، ربما يبيعه ميلان ب70 ب80 مليون يورو، إلا إذا أراد أن يكون كاكا بعد بالفعل كاكا الذي لا يغادر قلوب الميلانية في قادم السنوات القادمة. مباراة منتهية خلاص، مباراة في طريقها إلى صافرة النهاية، لكن محاولة قائمة الآن إبعاد عن الكرة الماضية. الدقيقة الرابعة متبقي دقيقتين على نهاية أحداث هذه المباراة. جمهور ميلان طبعا يحتفل. هذا هو بيتو البرتغالي. شوف الأخطاء، 14 على ميلان، 13 على نادي أوردينيزي. لا تعني شيئا في كرة القدم ذلك. بينما محاولة من جانب ثيو هرنانديز أمام بداية لا شك يشكر الفريقين عليها. 6 أهداف في دوري كانوا يقولون أنه ممل ودفاعي. هذا ممل ودفاعي، والعام الماضي أفضل نسبة أهداف في كل الدوريات ال4 أو ال5 الكبرى. هذا دفاعي وممل، و6 أهداف في أول جولة حتى الآن من بداية أول مباراة في الموسم. هذه كرة عالية تلعب للأمام، وصلت كذلك لنادي أودينيزي. لحظات أخيرة من عمر المباراة لسلوفيني ساندي لوفريتش. قد تأتي العرضية، تباطأ بعد ذلك. عندك أقل من دقيقة 40 ثانية تحديدا على أحداث المباراة، وكرة بالراس والإبعاد بعد ذلك بالفعل، والإبعاد الآن نعم وصلت إلى ديك كلايري في الكرة الماضية. تعود خطأ نعم أعتقد فيه. لا ما احتسب. لاعب جيد، اللاعب اللي معانا في الصورة اللي هو يقاتل يحاول. أتكلم عن اللاعب السوبي براندون سوبي. بداية لا شك أنها هي مزعجة جدا للمدرب السيد. أنا ما أدري ليش غيروا مدربهم العام الماضي. نادي أودينيزي بالمناسبة كان مع لوكا غوتشي. 12 وصلت الترتيب 12 ما كسب. المباراة انتهت عزيزي المشاهد، وميلان حامل اللقب يسجل الفوز في الافتتاح في ملعبه في سان سيرو ب4 أهداف. عانى نعم في الشوط الأول، لكن هذه المعاناة تحولت إلى فرح في الشوط الثاني. سجل هدفين وأنهى المباراة الأولى ب4 أهداف لهدفين. مع كل الاحترام طبعا لفريق أودينيزي، حسب إمكانياته حاول فاجأ ميلان في الشوط الأول، لكنه لم يستطيع أن يستمر في المفاجأة في الشوط الثاني في هذه المباراة. علينا أن نشكر ميلان، علينا أن نشكر أودينيزي، علينا أن نقول أنها بداية ممتازة بالفعل لانطلاقة منتظرة لكرة القدم الإيطالية. هذه الأجواء في السان سيرو هكذا ستكون الأجواء في كل الموسم عبر قنوات أبو ظبي الرياضية. أيها المشاهد الكريم في كل مكان، على الخير كنا معك، على المحبة سنلتقي في مناسبات أخرى قادمة. هذا إذا كان في الأمر بقية. الكلمة الآن من كابينات المعلقين. تعودوا مرة أخرى إلى حيث بدأ
pemuncak klasemen Indonesia peringkat
وضيوفه الكرام. فإلى هناك، والسلام عليكم ورحمة من الله وبركاته.
Thank you semuanya guys, yang udah nemenin 9 orang. Thank you semuanya. Habis lihat MU dibantai 4-0, Milan 4-2 lawan Udinese.
Serie A BX was brought to you by Serie A and the Italian Trade Agency.
Nanti guys, Barcelona. Bentar lagi itu juga ada sih. Lege Inter.
Stars Green Sport